squad announcement. Very different on a Monday, of course, but with us is Coach Jacques Nienaber and Kurtley Arendse. By now, you would have received the questions. So, the team. So, yeah, we'll start taking questions. We don't have any media in attendance, so can we keep Afrikaans to the last 10 minutes, please, guys, if that's all right with you. First question, Craig.
Thanks, Zina. Hi, Jacques. Hi, Kurtley. Jacques, nice looking centre combination there. First start for Kainan at 13 in Test rugby, and obviously Andre Esterhuizen's never played against the All Blacks. Well, let's start there. I'm sure there's lots of questions around the squad, but can you just talk about your thinking around the centre pairing?
I think if you look at Andre, the couple of games, let's start with him first. If you look at the couple of games that he played for us, I thought he had good games, and obviously he's in the squad. And I think if you look at the amount of games that Dukes had, I think that's just a nice rotation. Dukes have played 80 now for a couple of weeks. And then, Kainan would be probably from the outside would be an interesting decision. But for us, Kainan has always been at the back of our heads, a backup there. And obviously, Kainan is now a backup 13 for us until we've got other options that we can play there. Obviously, JC is playing and currently starting there and he's in form. We can move Damian Dalenda out to 13, which we've done before. Until, unfortunately, Luki is still injured and probably 2 weeks away from being fully fit. So with that in mind, we've trained Kainan there in trainings. He's operating. And that's why we're comfortable with the fact that we can play Kainan there, and it will be a nice challenge for him, obviously playing against a quality centre on the weekend.
Sure, thanks.
Steven?
Sorry, my audio is not that great. Yeah. Okay. Jacques, in terms of this game, so obviously people will look at your team and say there is a slight experimental look about it. Is it really important for you to win this game, or is there is the bigger picture that you are looking at?
Yeah, I think I think if you look at the team, probably if you look at the backs, I would take the experimental comment probably. But I think if you look at the forwards, out of we obviously went against Wales last weekend with a 6-2 split. I think there's good continuity, and with a 6-2 split, there's 14 forwards involved. You know, out of the 14 forwards, there's 12 forwards involved that played last weekend. So I think it's only Trevor and Eben who's changed in the forwards. Yes, in the backs. I think just under 50% played last weekend, and there's some new combinations here. And obviously, we have 4-9, so we have a new 9 combination in Kobus and Faf, and the centre combination that we spoke about now. And then obviously the outside backs. I mean, I said to the outside backs the other day, if you look at the performance of our outside backs in all the games that we have won. And there was obviously the man of the match coming from the winning team. First game it was Kurtley scoring a hat-trick, and then it was Cheslin against Argentina, and then Argentina away it was Kainan, and then and now this game it was Kainan again. So I think we've got quality outside back. So yeah, it's just spreading the load with him.
Jan?
Thank you, Zina. Thank you, Jacques. Thanks, Kurtley. Jacques, just a follow-up on that in terms of what you expect from New Zealand and the main goals for this game. I mean, obviously, nobody ever plays to lose, but what do you hope to get out of this game, and what do you expect from New Zealand?
Yeah, I think that probably if you look at the nice of the 2 warm-up games that we've played, I think it's fair to say that Wales is probably this grinding team. So if I can say, their style of play is probably, I won't say opposite, but their style of play is probably a little bit different than New Zealand. So I think we get the best of both in terms of the 2 warm-up games that we have lined up before the World Cup. I think if you look at New Zealand, we all saw the game that we played against them in New Zealand, and they're obviously a team that wants to get a quick start or fast start, and obviously we were under pressure in that first 20 minutes, and until we got back into the game a little bit after that. But yeah, so I expect a high tempo game, expect like big continuity, looking for offloads, unpredictability, yeah, speeding it up. So that's what we probably expect from New Zealand.
Ross?
And not taking away, they got a proper set piece, you know. So sometimes one can focus so much on the razzle dazzle on that side that you forget that they've got a solid scrum, they've got a good maul, they score maul tries, they stop mauls well, they stop your scrums well. So not taking anything away from the basics of rugby, they've got a good set piece, and on top of that, they've got this fast, quick game that we will have to handle.
Ross?
Thanks, Zina. How's it, guys? Jacques, you mentioned Lucanio a bit earlier. How has him and Andre been in the setup? How are they looking at the moment? And the 5 guys that you brought along with the squad, do they all fly back now after this game to South Africa? Is that how that works? And then secondly, just playing New Zealand sort of on neutral ground in Twickenham, is that a bit different for the team? And does that sort of level the playing field rather than the game being in South Africa or down under?
I'll probably start, Ross, with the second one first. Yeah, I think, yes, it's a special occasion. It's and a quite exciting occasion for us. I've never been involved in playing New Zealand in a game like this. Obviously, the other neutral ground that we played them was in the World Cup at Yokohama. So yeah, and having them as a warm-up game, I think it's quite exciting for both us and them. You know, playing at Twickenham. I don't know who's going to have the most support at Twickenham, but I think it will be a nice occasion, and it will be, yeah, it will be obviously it will be win at all cost. I think win at all cost, but yes, probably if you play when New Zealand and South Africa play against each other, it's one of those test matches that you want to win, you know. So there's always been a big rivalry. So not taking away that will definitely be there, but I think it will be a nice, exciting, and I think it will be a great experience for all of us, both for us and for them. That's the nice thing of playing them at Twickenham or on a neutral ground. And then your first question was regarding Andre and Luki. Yeah, Luki, like I mentioned earlier on, he's probably about another 2 weeks away from being fit. And then Andre is he's like on the edge of being fully fit. You know, he just need obviously now a lot of fitness. But like I mentioned now, I think for the last 2 weeks, I think he's not he is not in a return to train protocol. So RTT, return to train, that's where Luki is, return to training still. He hasn't trained with us yet, but Andre is in a return to play protocol, so RTP. So he's on his way back to playing. So he's probably a week away from being declared to play, but he then will need fitness. Like I would say Sia is now past his return to play, and he started playing, but then the play must be regulated like it was on the weekend. So so he played 40 minutes under medical advice, and hopefully this weekend we can put some more minutes into him, maybe take him to 50 or 55 or maybe 60 minutes, but there will also be a cap on that. So and then regarding the ready to play squad, yes, the ready-to-play squad will have, they'll leave for their clubs after the test match against New Zealand. Yeah, they will leave for their clubs.
Charlie?
Thanks, Zina. Hi, Jack. Could I just ask quickly, it's probably a long answer and a short answer to this, so if I could have the short answer, please. The last 4-year cycle for you was a sprint, because you guys came in as a new coaching team and you took the side to the World Cup. What's this one been like as a marathon, I guess? Is it, and then what are the different kind of considerations that you've had to take into account?
Yeah, Charlie, I think, unfortunately, somebody asked me the same question the other day. Are we happy where we are? And the short and the long answer is yes and no. And the no part is probably, if you think of the rotations we had in 2020 and building squad depth and almost, if you think of building a squad, there's performance on the one side that gives you momentum and that gives you confidence, and then there's also development on the other side, if I can call it development, is creating squad depth, getting experience into younger players, getting them comfortable in the environment, and stuff like that. I think those are the two things that you always weigh up against each other. We probably would in 2020 have done the same that we did in 2022, where while not losing the performance, you get a little bit of growth in your team as well. Where 2021 was predominantly, listen, British and Irish Lions, that's a big one that we have to, it's full out performance. There's not a lot of time for growth. And then 2023 would probably be the same. So where we are, unfortunately, we lost a year with COVID. That's where we are.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Heinz?
Oh, excuse me, gents. Hi, Jock. Hope you're well. I know nobody actually wants to look that far ahead, so I think I know what the answer will be. But just in terms of a psychological marker, this is potentially a quarterfinal opponent for you guys. So is there any sort of like I almost want to say psychological marker that might be laid down either by winning or losing in this game, given that you guys might meet again in future, short-term future?
Yeah, I think it depends on how much you believe in history or not, if you think back at 2019, we had a draw with New Zealand in Wellington in the Rugby Championship, and then we obviously lost against them in the pool stages, I guess it depends on how much you believe the past has an influence on the future. But yeah, so in my personal opinion, no, I don't think. Again, New Zealand will want to win this game to build momentum going into the World Cup. We would like to win this game to build momentum going into the World Cup, but I don't think destiny will determine who's in the quarterfinal, and we don't even think about that, like you rightly say, because if we look too far ahead and we don't focus purely on Scotland, on New Zealand first, and then Scotland. You might not even get out of the pool.
Kaniso?
Thank you very much, Zina. Jacques, just a small bit of clarity on Lucanio and Andre. Will they be staying with the team post this game, or they'll also be joining the clubs in the event that there's no injuries this weekend?
No, just short answer there. No, after this weekend's game, Friday night against the All Blacks, if there's no injuries, obviously, if there's injuries, different, and probably not Lukey, because Lukey is still, like I mentioned, he's still another 2 weeks. He hasn't even trained with us yet. So he's still in the process of returning to training, but he's close to that. Where Andre is in a process of returning to playing. So, but if there's an injury, it might change. But like we mentioned, the squad that we announced earlier this month is the squad that got submitted, and because there was no injuries, like we mentioned. If there's injuries, we would have changed it, but there isn't currently any injuries. If it changes, let's say somebody picks up an injury during the week, then obviously there will be a change in the squad, or in the next 10 weeks. I think the World Cup final is only 10 weeks from now. So if there's any injuries within the next 10 weeks, I mean, even a guy like Luet, even a guy, any of the guys that are here with us, the John Lukes, Joseph, I'm leaving a couple of names out, but those guys that are with us here, Thomas de Toy, then obviously they will fall in. But no, after Friday, Thomas will go back to his club. If there's no injury, Lukey will go back to his club. The guys will go back to their clubs.
Steven?
Thanks, Z. Jock, obviously, we know from the last game against the All Blacks, that tempo game, you've mentioned it, at the beginning, just how they manipulated your defense and so on. I mean, it's one thing to talk about it and another thing to come up with to execute the plan. I mean, how much focus has there been on that, and are you confident that you've got the answer this time for that?
Yeah, I think obviously you try and that's a nice thing of playing against a team that put you under pressure. You obviously see where there's opportunity for attack to put you under pressure, and you must find new solutions. And obviously you look for new solutions, and you've got new plans like we always have. And that's the beauty of this weekend playing against the All Blacks again. You've got opportunity to try and rectify, to implement those new plans, and to try and rectify the areas where they lost, put you under pressure. Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
We have about 4 minutes left for English, guys, and then we can switch to Afrikaans. If there aren't any, we'll come back to English. So just please bear that in mind. Simon?
Zina, ek wil graag in Afrikaans vra, so ek gaan my beurt nou eers los.
Okay, fantasties. Ati?
Thanks, Zina. My question is for Kurtley. Kurtley, just how motivated are you guys as a group ahead of Friday's game? And also just regarding the outside backs, how important is it you guys maintain that fear factor you have, being clinical, being lethal, dotting down the ball on the white line to just gain momentum going to the World Cup?
Thank you, Ati. I think now building momentum now before the World Cup is really important for us. And yeah, I think we're going to go back, look at the New Zealand game, what we did wrong, and just try to rectify that. And yeah, the squad that has been picked, I think our goal is to get closer and yeah, go out and execute a plan that is set out for us for the week.
Kaniso?
Sorry, yeah. Just a question for both of you, Jacques and Kurtley. Just take us through what you've seen in Kainan as a centre. I think Kurtley would have seen a bit more of him, having grown up with him. And Paul, this is a bit younger than you, but when you grow up with each other, you actually get to see a play in action. I mean, Jacques, for example, Kainan hasn't played 13 much outside of high school, but clearly he was always highly rated as an outside back.
Yeah, no, I've seen what Kainan can do. He's grown as a player, and yeah, he's very competitive. And yeah, no, I think he will do good on 13, and I'm really happy for him. And yeah, when we in the room, we always say that he would like to get an opportunity at 13, and now he has given the chance, and I think he'll make the best of it. Yeah, no, from me, like I said, it might look from the outside. I mean, it might look like quite a left field option, but obviously he spent a lot of time with us, and he's run there a couple of times in trainings, not a couple, often. So we get to see him there as coaches, and I know it's in the training field, but yeah, comfortable. Yes, there will be adjustments, obviously, and obviously he's playing. I don't know who New Zealand's going to select, but if they play Rico, he's probably one of the top 13s in the world. So it will be a nice. I think it will be a nice challenge for Kainan. But like Kurtley said, now I truly believe that he's up for that challenge.
Last English question for now, Craig.
Thanks, Ina. Kurtley, hi. You played at Ellis Park last. That will be about a month since you last played. Are you the kind of guy that goes from 0 to 100 quickly? I mean, we've seen that on the field, but I just mean, do you prefer playing more regularly to stay in nick?
Yeah, no, it would be lovely to play all the games, but the coaches has a plan, and yeah, I'm telling myself just to be always ready if I get the opportunity. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
Simon?
Dankie Zina. Hallo manne. Jacques, ek wil hierdie vir jou vra asseblief, net vir sekerheid, daar is nie weer 'n datum waar jy spelers moet voorlê wat aan die Wêreldbeker gaan deelneem nie, as ek jou reg verstaan, soos wat jy verduidelik het nie.
Die Wêreldbeker groep is die groep wat ons gekies het vroeg in Augustus, of ek dink die 8ste, kan nie onthou wanneer dit by Supersport aangekondig nie. Daai groep van 33 is die groep van 33 wat ingehandig is. En soos ons daai tyd genoem het en gesê het, is dat, luister, as daar beserings is, dis hoekom ons hierdie amper ready to go manne saam met ons gebring het. As daar enige beserings voorgekom het, dan kan daai manne net ingestap het. En hulle was nou 2 weke saam met ons, bietjie meer, ons kon hulle sien, hulle teen ons geoefen. Ek bedoel, daai tyd 2 weke terug, toe nadat ons die span aangekondig het, dat André nog nie eintlik eers saam met ons begin oefen nie. Hy is toe net gekleer om te kan begin oefen. En nou het hy dan al 2 weke saam met ons geoefen. Stelselmatig, as ek so kan sê, jy begin maar probeer dag 1 50% van die oefening doen, dag 2 60, dag 3 70, so bou die mediese mense guidance maar daar in terme van dit. Die span van 33 wat by World Rugby moet ingehandig word, ek dink is vandag. Dis today. Ja, is vandag. En daai span is so ingehandig soos ons hom aangekondig het. Daar was nie enige ander beserings nie. Die ouens wat nou in daai ready to go groep is, ek bedoel, as daar nou 'n besering is, dan obviously gaan dit verander. Dan sal daar iemand uitval en iemand sal inkom. As daar en die net in Afrikaans, ja, André is die een wat die naaste aan reg is as dit vat tussen hom en Lucanio. En die ander manne, ou soos Joseph Dweba en John-Luc de Pre en Herschel Jantjies het gespeel vir die Barbarians, so hulle het 'n lekker wedstryd onder hulle blad gekry en heel tevrede met wat hulle vertonings wat hulle gehad het in die Barbarians. So ja, die ding is maar om almal so skerp as moontlik, soveel as wedstryde onder die blad te kan kry, sodat as daar besering is, dat hulle reg is om in die span in te kom en dat hulle nie koud is nie, dat hulle dan ten minste rugby gespeel het.
Ek wil net ekskuus, nou kan ek net 'n opvolgvraag vir klaarmaak hiermee asseblief. Jou voorry, Jacques, jy moet baie tevrede wees, veral met die voorry, die opdrag voorry en die plaasvervanger voorry van die span teen Wallis. Julle verwag sekerlik dat dit 'n soort van 'n step-up gaan wees teen die All Blacks. Koggie is nie daar nie, Trevor kry geleentheid. Jou gevoel rondom dit, oor die sukses van die voorry en wat verwag word vir hierdie naweek.
Ja, ek dink ou moet dit in aanmerking neem dat ek dink as jy gaan kyk na die hoeveelheid toetse wat daai voorry van Wallis gespeel het, ek dink is sonder om enige disrespek teenoor Wallis te sê, maar ek dink nie dit was 'n baie ervare voorry nie. Ek dink tussen daai stitte wat gespeel het, ek dink baie van hulle was onder 5 toetse, van hulle het nog net 1 toets gespeel. So ek dink ou moet dit in die agterkop hou wanneer jy na daai performance kyk. So ja, dit gaan 'n heel ander toets wees die naweek. En ja, Trevor het laas teen Argentinië gespeel, weg van die huis af. So en Vincent was betrokke in die meeste van die wedstryde, alhoewel dit van die bank af was. So ons voel weer eens, ons wil maar net seker maak almal is reg, jy weet, as Thomas is daar, as daar besering is, ons het 6 stitte hier, daar's net 5 in die groep aangekondig waarvan Trevor 1 is. Ja, het is maar net seker, Trevor het, soos ek sê, hy het laas 2 weke terug gespeel. So ou probeer almal soveel as moontlik, so wedstryd skerp as moontlik hou, soos wat dit vir ons moontlik is, die beste wat dit vir ons moontlik is om dit te doen. So ja, dis hoekom Trevor 'n geleentheid kry die naweek.
Dankie julle.
Ja. Okay, Percy, ons sal na jou toe gaan.
Sien baie dankie. Goeiemiddag menere. Jacques, kan ek net vra, ek wil Kurtlie vra, maar ek wil jou net iets seker maak. Jacques, ek aanvaar die feit dat Damien Willemse in die groep is, het julle medies die thumbs up gekry vir hom om te speel in hierdie wedstryd, veral na wat aan die laaste oomblikke in teen Wallis gebeur het. En Kurtlie, kan ek jou net vra? Ek het nog nie kans gehad om vir jou geluk te wens, meneer. Baie geluk met jou insluiting in die Wêreldbeker groep. Kurtlie, kry jy nog vlinders, butterflies in jou stomach oor die feit dat jy nou deel van 'n elite groep is, meneer? En wat beteken dit vir jou en vir jou familie dat jy nou deel van hierdie elite Wêreldbeker groep is, meneer?
Nee, ek dink ek kry nog elke dag butterflies. Ek meen om deel te wees van hierdie groep is iets spesiaal.
Ja, al speel nie net om hier te wees, ek dink is iets besonders. En ja, nee, my familie is ook, hulle is ook baie trots op my en ja, ek geniet elke oomblik en ek is dankbaar vir die geleentheid. Ja, Percy in terme van Damian Willemse, yes, 100% reg.
Gats, ons kan nog so 2 vrae vra, so Jan en dan Johan.
Dankie Zina, kan ek maar in Engels vra?
Okay, kan ons Afrikaans eers doen asseblief man, Johan?
Nee, klaar, ek wag vir ja.
Hi meneer, goeiemiddag. Jacques, ek hou van jou center kombinasie. Jy het net daaroor gepraat, maar gee net vir my dit asseblief jou denkproses in Afrikaans.
Johan, ja, ek dink as 'n ou kom ons begin eers by Andre Esterhuizen. Ek dink Damian het 'n klomp 80 minute agter die blad nou al. En Andre Esterhuizen in die paar wedstryde wat hy vir ons so ver gespeel het hy regtig goed vertoon en so daai is vir my so half bloot net 'n rotasie. Luister, kom ons maak net seker almal kry soveel wedstrydlading as wat en ons probeer dit so gebalanseerd hou as moontlik. En dan in terme van Keinan, ja, as 'n mens dink met Lucanio se besering, ons het 'n verskeie opsies wat ons kan na kyk op 13 uit die aard van die saak is 'n ou soos Jesse op die stadium. Ek dink hy speel baie goeie rugby op 13 daar. Maar ons kan ook soos wat ons in die verlede al gemaak het, 'n ou kan Andre Esterhuizen of Damian Willemse op 12 inskuif en jy kan vir Damian Dalende uitskuif na 13 toe wat ons al gedoen het. Maar Keinan is ook iemand wat ons nou al verskeie kere in oefeninge gebruik het en obviously hy daar gespeel op skool en dis waar hy maar eintlik ek dink sy rugby begin speel het en dan baie soos Lucanio, jy weet toe Lucanio begin het by die EP Kings nog back in the day het hy begin op vleuel, jy weet Damian Dalende het begin op vleuel by WP 120 en dan so skuif hulle maar in, jy weet, so ek dink Keinan het ook maar op vleuel begin is waar daar vir hom 'n geleentheid geskep was by sy klub en of geleentheid opgekom het vir hom en ja, maar dit sal vir ons wil hom graag sien op 13 soos ek sê, dit sal miskien vir baie mense van buite af lyk, dis nogal 'n baie 'n left field keuse, maar soos ek sê, ons het hom al baie in oefeninge daar gesien en ons is heel gemaklik met hom en dit gaan 'n lekker toets wees vir hom en ek bedoel ek dink Rico is seker een van die top een van die inform 13s wat daar tans is, so hy gaan sy hande vol hê, maar ons is vol vertroue dat hy sal goed doen daar.
Jan?
Thanks, Zina. Jacques, ja, ek gaan maar in Engels vra. I know you were taken aback a bit when you were asked about Mani's performance on Saturday. Now that you've had a bit of time to sit back and analyze it, are you guys going to get some specialist help for him, or are you still happy with where Mani is in terms of his goal kicking?
No, we're happy with Mani. He's obviously it's like anything. If a hooker misses 4 lineouts, because it's a specialist skill that's there for the world to see, like eyeball, like line-out throwing, like kicking for poles. I think obviously it's probably amplified a little bit more. But though in terms of Mani, very happy where he's. We'll probably we would prefer him scoring or creating 8 tries for us. And then work on his goal kicking. But yeah, that's where we are in terms of him.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
How's it, gentlemen? Good afternoon. My question, Jacques, I think Craig touched on it when we were talking about Keinan earlier on, but I just want to find out. So considering how Lucanio and Jesse have been the quote-unquote specialist 13 in the squad for the last however many years, is Keinan Moody now being looked at as somebody possibly part of a succession plan, would you believe? I know you won't be part of the team going forward, but is that something that, let's say, if you were part of the coaching staff, something that you would look into, having Keinan as a part of going forward as a 13? And the question that Jan just asked, I think it was Jan, with regards to money. Now, pardon me if I'm wrong, but he hasn't started with Damian, especially with the Springbok. So what are you hoping that combination would do? Because he's quite comfortable playing with Damian at the Storm, as we've seen in the last however many seasons they've been playing together. So are you hoping perhaps to get that confidence from Manie now playing with Damien at 15?
Okay, yeah, firstly, yes, okay, let me think. The first one that you asked was regarding succession planning for Kainan. Yeah, Kainan is purely because obviously Lucanio is still injured. So it's maybe, and like I mentioned, we've got, so our backups were always, we had Lucanio, we had Jesse at 13, and then we had Damien Dalenda that can move out to 13. And yeah, so in terms of succession, I'm just looking at now. So I think it would be out of place for me to talk about succession 2024, 2025, 2026. I mean, that will be up for somebody else. But for us currently, where the Springboks are now with Lukie's injury, obviously, just to have a third option, you know, we have JC there. Yes, we can put Damien Dalenda there, but to have a third option there, yeah, that's where Kainan probably comes in. We must be very, very bad luck. Obviously, if he has to start there fast, but it means that we would have lost two of the guys that I've just mentioned, or both of them. Yeah, so succession going forward, that will be up to the guys after this World Cup. Then in terms of Damian Willemse and Manie, yeah, I think that I in terms of a combination, I think they've been playing together for quite some time now. Even yes, when I coached the SA under-20s, they were playing together. When did they with Italy 2015, 2016, Manchester, England. So they've been playing together on a national point of view from SA schools, SA under-20. So I think if I understood you, Kate, if I understood you correct, in terms of do I think they will have a good combination with each other? Yes, I think they will have a good combination, and like they always have, like they have with the Stormers, and since on national level, from a schools point of view, they've already played together.
Thank you, guys. We'll be sending out the recording shortly. Dankie, Kurtley en Minas.
Thank you very much. Dankie almal.
Thanks. Good luck.